is a little clicky. Okay. He's going to be talking too, so.
Use the mic him up. Bring him up top there. Okay. You go first, Tim. Then I'll just take it from you. Yeah, sounds good.
Squeeze out this way there. All right, just first of all, I'd just like to say it's nice to see everybody here. It's always a good turnout as we enjoyed coming. This is Robert's first time here. My name is Tim Scaffine. I'm the evidence manager at EPD. Robert House is one of our evidence techs, and before this, he came from Florida also. He's got 25 years of sworn law enforcement experience. So.
Not turned on?
Oh, there we go. Thank you.
That'll work better now.
I feel better now.
Yeah, all turned on.
Okay.
Mic that.
All right. Basically, what we're gonna. God, that's an echo. All right. It's like I'm in a ride or something. We're gonna go through today is just gonna give you an overview of what we're doing out there and some of the stuff we're working on, projects. Let's skip to that part. Basically, right now, this thing is touchy. Basically, our section consists of an evidence manager. Why is this advancing? Okay, I'm going to stop using this. Okay, I'll use this. We have an evidence manager, a master police officer. She's actually been there since the unit got released in April of 2011 from the shutdown. One part-time master police officer, 4 full-time evidence techs. 4 evidence techs, 3 are full-time and 1's part-time. To kind of work between the full-time positions, we got some part-time folks that are coming in and helping out with the purge process, which Robert's on the purge team. He's going to talk about that later, kind of touch on some stuff he's working on. Kind of what we're going to cover today, past, present, future. Past, I'm not going to dive into it too deep because most of y'all probably know what happened. Federal indictments, theft of narcotics. There was 2 folks that worked there at that time, and one serving prison time in West Virginia right now, so under a federal indictment. So we try not to think about the past too much, just that we have a large scale project ahead of us. We're working on it diligently, and we're doing our best to kind of just work through 20 years of backlog at this point. So. If you have any questions too, please feel free to ask. Present, what we're doing is pretty much adhering to best practices, attacking the backlog, and doing things right. We're going to talk about stuff we're changing, actually physical, tangible objects that we're upgrading, we're changing. But a lot of the stuff we're doing also is changing the culture, changing the mindset of just doing things the right way. And I'm going to share a couple of that with you. Doing things right with the first time, and another big issue is the right way is not always the easy way. You know, just because something was easy in the past, because you were, there was a crux in the past. You were supported. You know, a lot of officers kind of didn't know they were doing anything wrong because they never were told they were doing anything wrong. They were enabled. So we set up a right of refusal process. We have support from the chain of command with that. Every time an officer submits something that's not up to our standard, up to par, we go ahead and have the support from the district commanders. We email their lieutenant. The lieutenant kind of sits on it, makes sure that officer did come and fix it, and they follow up, which is really good to feel that support and that unity to help us kind of keep things on track. Decision-making process, what we do. And you can feel free to chime in here too, Robert. I'm sorry. I'm keeping you back here. Just sit back there and look pretty, okay? Basically, our decision-making process, always do what's moral, legal, ethical. I mean, it's kind of, you shouldn't have to say that, but it kind of ties into doing the right way the first time, and just doing things right. We always use these guiding principles as far as leading us down the right track. If something may be tying back and something's easy, well, is it legal? We're not cutting corners. We're not cutting corners around state statutes or other governing bodies that may keep us on track. Kind of the one thing too about changing the culture is I had an interview with Law and Order magazine, and just kind of plug some stuff out from this. We had to change the fundamental aspects of our operation, and the kind of like what I've tied into saying before. It's always been done that way for years. Didn't comply with our plan to move forward. We had to revamp everything as far as, from attending roll calls to attending staff meetings, command staff meetings. We got the buy-in, because if you don't have the buy-in, you don't have anything. So we attend these meetings. We still attend roll calls. We get the officers involved. And what happened was, at first there was resistance. Now we go to roll calls and we have officers stopping by the office and saying, hey, this is a good idea. How can we help? And a lot of times, especially with the purge process, they've been great. They've stopped by. They've tried to invest some information, invest some of their experience into how to help us move forward. So they, more than anyone, want to see us, in a better light, to see us move forward, because it was a black eye in the agency, but we're moving forward together. And also the ability to positively react to fluid situations helps as well. Robert can speak to this since you've been here about 6 months now. We are, if you can't bend, you're going to break. We're kind of like that willow in the wind.
Just got to go with the flow.
Exactly. We are moving.
Where you can be, where you can't be.
You can't say it better than that. We are just moving so fluidly right now, and one project comes up, and the next project may take precedence the next day, but it's all helping us in the future. And then fostering change brings a constant state of flux, which you must be able to adapt, and you must all row in the same direction. And my captain kind of uses this analogy, rowing in the same direction, because you don't want to be that person standing up, rocking the boat, or going the other way. So it's that buy-in. It's that making sure everybody's kind of heading the right path. Audits, we've increased these. We're a CLIA accredited agency, but right now we do 6 audits annually, which consists of about 125 items per audit. We have a chief's unannounced inspection, and then we have a perpetual audit, which, you want to speak to that, basically. We'll talk about the purge in a second here, but what Robert does is, as they go through items in that backlog, we're auditing it, making sure what the paperwork, the records reflect are what we physically have.
So it all lines up and it was found where it was supposed to be found.
Exactly.
And it's put back where we can find it.
And we do a couple things that kind of help us out in a way to help give more credibility to these audits. When we do an audit, we don't generate the list. So we have a crime analyst that generates just a random list, takes our whole inventory, gives us a random list of everything, and throws into that 125 items. So we have no clue what that's going to be. We get that usually the day before. So we go out, pull those items. You can see one of our evidence techs, Holly, there. She's pulling the items from the list. And then we have a outside person. This is Lieutenant Eberhardt. He's from patrol. He'll come by. We'll sit next to him. He'll call out that item. We'll hand it to him. He'll physically audit it in our presence, and then just make sure that basically the record matches what the physical item is. And just make sure that integrity is intact also.
What records management system?
OSSI, RMS.
And it's printing you a random report?
No, our crime analyst, he does things I can't even explain. He extracts that information using like a third part, like Crystal, I think it's called, or a third party. Crystal reports, yeah. So, but he he explained something to me with using rice and beans and these how your numbers dilute into one thing, and the guy's a genius. But basically, he just pulls those items from RMS. So the final report that gets submitted up the chain of command. That goes to the district attorney, so he knows what's going on, and then media, due to the nature of the business, can request those as well. Just a couple other things we work on. We have a city manager's report. Every month we give a report to the city manager, basically telling what's going on with the property room. And then we have a matrix report. And this is kind of something that I find really helpful, is every project we do, we just keep track of it on a matrix, which is just a fancy spreadsheet with colors and cool stuff like that. So, for example, color coding homicide evidence, something that simple. We just apply extra sticker there, just near the barcode, just saying, hey, it says homicide. Just a little safety mechanism to say, hey, we're not going to go throwing stuff away needlessly anyway, but it's just a little safety backup saying this is homicide evidence, if you want to store it separately or whatnot. Another thing we do is benchmarking. This is helpful for all you, the folks that we've called to ask questions to. Do appreciate that. If we haven't yet, we probably will. And we get in the phone if we have a question we had one about releasing ammunition at the same time as a firearm. I don't know if we called you on that. We do appreciate your help with that. But, we changed our policy. We used to not give ammo at all. Now we do under certain circumstances. But we use those agencies that are around our same physical size, officer-wise, or bigger or larger. And that helps us out a lot. I recommend that for everybody. Just get on the phone. Coming to these conferences is priceless from what we learn. But hopping on the phone, sending an email, it really helps us out a lot. Just some physical integrity stuff. What we've done is a 2-person rule. And I know just from prior circumstance where I used to work, we used 2 people for sensitive items. But now we use it for everything. If you break that threshold into the evidence room, even if you're going to grab a bag or some stickers or labels, 2 people are going in there at all times. We're just basically watching, no question. There's no backing down from that. It's a mandated rule, and we're always there with each other, just adding more credibility to our operation. Now, if you can do that, I recommend you do that. For us, if you only got 1 person, well, God bless you. So you can just split yourself. But for us, we are lucky enough to be able to afford to do that. Just the service windows. The one on the right there is our office. We consider our office a secured area. So we just have the window there where we help the folks. The one on the left is the outside service window. We always have the logs when someone signs in. Also, when I got there, I changed all the physical keys because I had no reports of who had physical keys, so we switched those all out. If you can, you're new, you can afford to do that. That's always nice. We have a key card system. I audited that to make sure only folks that work actually in property have access to the facility. So audited that, make sure that that only the folks working there had access. So that worked out pretty well. No problems there, but something we just did. And some other stuff we're working on. Projects, we use the elephant thing.
How you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
There you go.
The project looks big, you just go with it, take it one piece at a time.
Yeah, and that's what
Eventually go down.
That's what Robert's working on. And this is a lot of stuff we're doing, but it's just, this isn't like we all hit it all at once. We're just, whatever little piece I can reach out and get, we can do as a team, we do. The drug bags went to clear drug bags. This helps out in auditing. It also helps out because we had a problem, obviously, with narcotics in the past. Now you can see exactly what's in there. And we double seal, sign, have the integrity seal there, and those have worked out great for us. We changed the evidence tape. We had some problems with manipulating tape because at the time we were using like just your packing tape, which obviously was an issue. So we went to the evidence tape. Something simple, just changing your tape, really helped create that, build up that integrity. Money verification, we take that very seriously too, so we always verify, double verify money that comes in. Drying cabinets, this is kind of our baby from last year. We got 5, and these, just for biological contaminated items, the wet stuff, also drugs as well, like the wet marijuana. We also get ginseng. People like to pick that in the parkway, which is not recommended. So we have to dry that. Not recommended means you might get locked up for that. So just these are really good. They say these have a post filter and a pre-filter. You can see the blue light there. That'll kill any cross-contamination. Once we clean it out, we lock it up, turn the light on. That was a kind of last year's capital item that we're happy to have. And just something else we worked on, that's kind of the before and after picture. We had a couple officers that were just handymen. They're craftsmen. They took that on the left, and they had a shop. One of the guys had a shop at home. We bought the supplies, and he made that desk. Threw up the bulletin boards. Let me just skip this one.
You're skipping my storage space.
Oh, storage space. Okay.